You want to know how to get rid of your limiting beliefs around money? By the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to go from that scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset so you can finally start making the money and the profits that you want in your business. So stay tuned. First, I'm going to show you how your beliefs around money are actually repelling it from you. And the one thing you can do to start allowing that money to start flowing to you right now. Then I'm going to show you a tool that will allow you to shift your mindset to generate more wealth and abundance. Next, I'm going to reveal how your own money story has become part of your identity and another exercise you can do to start shifting that. Plus, the 2 things you can do to start transforming your mindset from scarcity to abundance. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do to finally start attracting more abundance and wealth into your business and have it flow effortlessly. Now, here's a thing that seems counterintuitive, but chasing, wanting, or needing money, or feeling like you don't have it, actually repels money from you. Right? The universe only gives you what you think you have. So if you believe that you don't have money, right? If you believe that it isn't flowing to you, then the universe gives you more of that experience. You get what you are, not what you want. So one of the things to realize, and this may be a huge shift for you, is to realize that abundance is actually your true nature. You are actually really abundant, and abundance is sourced from inside of you. It doesn't come from outside of you. It's sourced from inside of you. We're all abundant. We're all made up of all the energies of the universe in its entirety, which means nature in and of itself is abundant. When you look at nature, for example, except nature that's been tampered with by humans, all of nature is abundant. Squirrels aren't trying to figure out where to get their next meal. Deer aren't trying to figure out where there's grass for them to graze. There's an abundance of it, and none of those squirrels or deer are shaming more squirrels or deer for taking too much. Nature in and of itself is abundant. Nature is always expanding for more life. The entire universe is expanding for more life, and that means that there's more abundance, more life for you to experience as well, but it requires that you raise your frequency so that you're a vibrational match for it and you actually see it. Because what I see all the time is, let's take a scale of like 1 to 10. Let's say you're down at a 2 or 3 as it relates to money, and really what you want is to be like an 8 or 9. Obviously you want to be at a 10. But the opportunities that you want starting at an 8 or 9. You have to raise your frequency from that 2 or 3 to be the 8 or 9, and then you will notice that those opportunities seem to come out of nowhere. It's one of my favorite things that my clients say to me is, that opportunity came out of nowhere, and it cracks me up because it was there all along. They just couldn't see it based on where they were vibrating at the time. And as soon as they increased their frequency, it was right there for them. Now, here's another thing that repels money. By believing money is freedom. We talk about that all the time, and I even talk to people about financial freedom. For me, what financial freedom is being able to make any money you need whenever you need it. Any money you need whenever you need it, to just know that's there, to be able to manifest it at that rate. But when you believe money is freedom, then what you've done is given something outside of yourself the ability to create freedom or take away your freedom. And as long as it's outside of you and it's not inside of you, then you will always be repelling it from you. Because money does not equal freedom. I can tell you, I have worked with many mega millionaires, and they're not particularly free because they have that much money. Once you get to that certain place, if you haven't cleared these blocks and cleared what freedom really means, now you're concerned about losing all that money. So in the beginning, you were concerned about making money. You make the money. Now you're concerned about losing money. That's not freedom, right? Yes, maybe that money is giving you certain choices you didn't have when you didn't have the money, but there's a difference between having choices and having freedom, because freedom is an inside job. And once you start cultivating an inner sense of freedom, I'm going to ask you to do a funny little exercise right now, right? If you were to close your eyes for just a minute, close your eyes for just a minute, And then think about someone or something that you really love. It could be a person, it could be a pet, it could be a family member, a friend, it doesn't matter. But just allow yourself to feel the love that you have for this being and really conjure that love. Allow it to fill your whole body, to expand from your chest where you feel it, and allow it to fill your entire body. And now I'm going to clap, and when I do, you're going to allow, your subconscious mind can do this, so it's going to allow you to double the feeling. So on the count of 3, you're going to double the feeling. 1, 2, 3, double the feeling. Right? Now feel that go all the way from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, to the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Feel how good that feels. Now, was that being with you? You can open your eyes. Was that being with you? Like you were able to conjure that feeling of love without that being or that thing being there for you. That's freedom. Right? Being able to feel that sense of freedom internally, regardless of what's happening in your circumstances. One of the ways is to expand your capacity to receive by allowing more in. If I have 5 gallons of love juice to give you, but you only have 1 gallon to receive it, where does the other 4 gallons go? Not to you. So it's key to expand your capacity to receive. Now, I know a lot of people in the beginning, one of the simple ways that I actually help them expand their capacity is literally by receiving compliments. When people often receive compliments, they want to go, oh, like my hair, this, it doesn't really look that good today. This old dress, nah, it doesn't really look that good. Oh, this suit, nah, I've had it for a while, whatever. They tend to downplay it, or they feel like they have to do a quid pro quo. Oh, you look great too, right? As opposed to just receiving the compliment and saying a simple thank you. The more that you can take that in and allow yourself to fill yourself up with that compliment without feeling you need to do something or say something in return, the more you actually expand your capacity to receive. And that's just one simple way. I give my clients lots of different ways, but that's a really great way to start expanding your capacity to receive. Now, this may be really controversial, but when people start thinking, okay, I'm about to go to the next level, what they actually start measuring, the first thing that goes through the subconscious mind is what are they going to lose. They don't focus on what they're going to gain. They actually focus on what are they going to lose, because you have to give something of a lower nature up to gain something of a higher nature, and most people are really afraid of what that thing is. And oftentimes, when you're in the space you are, what ends up happening is there's some sympathy. Like when you fail, you get some sympathy, some attention from people, and often there's a fear that people aren't going to get the same attention if they actually are really successful. Maybe, in fact, they're even going to get negative attention for being successful. Now, going back to what I just said about what you have to give up, typically the only thing that you have to give up are limiting beliefs, blocks, and self-sabotage patterns to go to the next level, and those aren't really serving you anyway. Now, your money story has actually become part of your identity, the self-image that you've created since you were young. Every "yeah, but" or "I can't because" is an old story coming from the old you that's created, and it isn't truth in the first place. So really start to become aware when you start making excuses, the "yeah, buts" or "I can't because." And what if you could say, "I wonder how"? Right? What if you could flip that on its head, and rather saying, "I can't because," make it yourself curious about it and go, I wonder how I could do that. How could I make that happen? Because this part of your brain called the reticular activating system will go in search of whatever you're focused on, whatever it believes is important. And if you say, "I can't because," it's going to find all the reasons why you can't. But if you say, "I wonder how," it's also going to find the ways to make that happen. Now, I love giving people hot tips and helping them clear limiting beliefs so they can finally claim the abundance that really is their birthright. So make sure you like and subscribe so you stay up to date on the latest videos. Now, here's a great exercise that you can allow yourself to do that will really help you spot some of the subconscious blocks and limiting beliefs that you have around money. I'm not allowed to be rich because. Now fill in the blank. What is that? Really allow yourself to go out there. What are all the excuses you have of why you're not allowed to be rich? I'm not allowed to be rich because my parents will, I'll outgrow my parents. I'll make more money than them. I'm not allowed to be rich because I'll end up being all alone. I'm not allowed to be rich because I'll outgrow all my friends. Whatever it is for you, just fill in that with as much as you can. Like, just keep going. Like, get into a space where you're just writing and writing and writing with everything that you can think of about why you're not allowed to be rich. Now, stay in your body when you do it. It's so easy to get in our heads, but really stay in your body and allow yourself to feel it. You know at the core that these are not really true, so you don't have to worry about that, but the more that you can get them out there, the better chance you have of being able to clear them so that you can get on the front side of them and actually claim the abundance that is really your birthright. One of the ways to actually really shift, like once you've identified them, one of the ways to really shift is through gratitude. Gratitude is phenomenal. When you feel gratitude for the future, like let's say, for example, I am so grateful I just enrolled 3 new clients, even though you haven't enrolled them yet. When you say it in the present tense and you feel gratitude, when we have gratitude, we usually have gratitude for something that's already happened. And your brain doesn't know the difference between what's imagined and what's real. And so when you have gratitude for the future as if it's already happened, and you really feel, the key is to really feel into that gratitude, then it allows, again, that reticular activating system to go in search of how to make that happen, because it won't allow a disconnect there between what's in your reality and what's going on in your subconscious mind at the same time. So gratitude is really key, as well as feeling the desire having already been manifested. Taking action from, for example, you want a 7-figure business. How would a 7-figure business owner take action from that place? Probably not the way that you're taking action right now. And so being able to live into who you would be and taking action from that place. If you want to make sure that you get to the root of your scarcity about money, and you really want to transform it to create abundance in your business, check out my video on how to go from a scarcity to an abundance mindset, and I'll show you more hot tips on exactly how to do that. Thanks, I'm Alaina, and I'll see you in the next video.